Hi, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Wah. No one's in the room right now, so I'm just going to take advantage of this moment and just get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of the Family Chantel Season 4, Episode 3. I don't know the title. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV such as Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight sometimes, Love is Blind, different things like that. So if you are at all interested in hearing reviews or recaps of those shows, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and share on any social media platform that you deem fit. We're gonna go on ahead and get started. Mazcat from London, thank you for joining us. And Tammy X, hi. All right, so let's jump right into this episode. Okay, so the first scene we have is Nicole. She's working out, barely. She has the worst form, and she's just talking about this pageant. And girl, we do not care. But she gets on the phone to talk to Pedro. And then, girl, we do care. So she calls Pedro, and Pedro says that he answered the phone because she finally broke up with that thing, that whatever, her boyfriend, Hi Amsterdam. And he now feels more comfortable talking to her, but he's still pretty mad at her for being like a sucia and going into the hotel barefooted and throwing glass all over the place. Like, ridiculous sister behavior. I do think that he is like, there's a lot of stuff that Pedro is mad with Nicole about. He's mad about the fact that she wasn't interested in seeing their father, fake storyline with him, and just everything. Like, he feels like, this person really let me down, and this is my best friend. This is the person that I have a not terrible relationship, but honestly, Nicole is the catalyst for the whole problems that have gone down between Chantel and the family and his family. Like, it has got to really suck that their families are fighting. You know what I'm saying? And it's not all Nicole's fault. Like, obviously Chantel is the one who misinterpreted what Nicole said to begin with. Like, did you call me a bat? I'm not bat. And you're a bat, which is wrong of Chantel to have done that. But I think that, throughout it all, he had a good relationship with Nicole, and then Alejandro just came and messed everything up. So he's really mad at his sister, okay? And basically, he just says he doesn't forgive her. He's like, this is what it is. Like, we're not copacetic. We're not on the, same page. El mismo página. And I, good luck, all the best, we'll talk here and there. And so Nicole seems really down about it, and she's trying to act like she doesn't care, but like, I think she really does care. I think she really does. Chantel talks about her first months with Pedro with Winter. Oh, okay. So then we jump to Tijuana, or TJ, where we have Chantel, Karen, and Winter packing up to go home after Winter's surgery. And so there is a conversation in the van on the way to the airport in which Chantel wants to know a little bit more about Winter's dealings with the Nigerian gentleman. And Winter's like, we're just talking. And Chantel's like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, like, he's my friend. Like, we're not together. And Chantel's like, well, you like that friend. And this is where I'm just like, girl, can we just leave Winter alone? Why must we define every relationship that one is in? Like, let it just be. If the person who's in the relationship is telling you that they are just friends, then just move away from that. Let your sister live her life. And so then they talk a little bit about her first months with Pedro. And she says how Pedro was her best friend, and they talked all the time. And he used to tell her how much he loved her over and over again. And, she was like, this guy is crazy. He can't love me. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you know what? I have been loved bombed by a Latino. And it's true. They do be like, I love you. And you're like, okay. Okay, calm down, killer. Calm down, crazy. You love me? Oh, you love me? What do you love about me? We don't speak the same language. So you don't even know me. You know, the hi and bye. Hello, the weather is nice. How's your mother? Me. You know, that's not me. So I get that. It was like, I was like, wow, it's crazy. And she's like, he was just in love. And so he just kept doing that. And then, you know, when we had little conversations about it, it would be like he was just falling in love with me at the time. Guys, if it sounds like a tornado is in here, it's because it's uber hot up here and the wind is actually blowing. So I opened up all the windows. I've got my fan going. So if that's, let me know if it's a lot of nonsense you're hearing in the background. Okay. So we get the feeling that Chantel is yearning for a yesteryear. Chantel is yearning for something new and different, or not new and different, something old. She's yearning for their relationship in the very beginning. And I guess throughout the last 5 years they've been together, they've had so many ups and downs. And she says that this is the first time that Pedro is actually shut off from her. Like, he's not calling her Pinky anymore, but she doesn't want her family to know that. And it's like, it's actually quite nice because it feels like finally Chantel has learned to not tell her family all of her marriage business. And so while I'm sad that she doesn't have anybody to like have confidence in to be able to tell her problems to, I'm also very glad that she's choosing not to tell her family, because that is the worst. When you tell Miss Karen things, everything goes downhill from there, because Miss Karen finds her way all up in her children's business, which is totally unnecessary, especially with the reaction that she has. It's not like she has the reaction and she keeps it to herself. No. She involves Thomas, and then they have like a group family meeting about how that person, I mean, you guys, is it not indicative the fact that every single one of her kids' partners she has had some kind of dislike or argument with? Royal and Antoinette had to move away from wherever they live so they can get away and get from underneath the stress, as she says it. She puts it in quotes as though like Royal telling her that she's too much and that the family's too much for him is like so-called stress. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she had a problem with Antoinette. She had a problem with Pedro, a huge problem with Pedro, Pedro's whole family, about them harvesting the American dollar. River didn't even want to bring his girlfriend around. Now, and then she had a problem with Ja. Now, Ja was a problem. But do you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's a pattern here. So I'm happy that Chantel did not tell her family about that. When she gets home, Pedro is low-key rude to her. And I wanted to be like, yo, Pepe, I need you to calm down. She comes home and she sees a box that he didn't even clean up, the box that him and River put that shelf together. Now, I don't know if they put the shelf together that day and Chantel just came later on in the night. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If I come home from anywhere and I walk into a dirty house or nonsense on the floor that wasn't there when I left, I would be annoyed. And she actually pivoted really well before. She seemed like she was going to go in on him about it. But then she was like, well, good job, baby. Good job for putting up the shelf. And as normal with Chantel, I never know if it's that she's super awkward or if she's being not genuine. Maybe it's just that I am waiting for Chantel to get more comfortable around the camera. And maybe she just never will. Maybe she is just normally an awkward type of person. Like, well, baby, good job. Good job. Look what I bought you, baby. Oh, I bought you a hat. Perfect fit. These hats, the shoes, look at your cowboy boots. Do you like it? And he's like, yeah, Pinky, I like it. And she's like, oh, they are a perfect fit for my perfect man. And then she sits on the couch with him and she's like, baby, you have to talk to me. And I don't understand what's happening with you. You have to share your feelings with me. And he's like, they're my feelings, baby. I know my feelings, baby. I don't want to share my feelings with you. They're my feelings. So, just like my grandmother said, if you have a feelings, you should, keep it to yourself. But if I do share my feelings with you, then it's on my time. And so the producers ask him, Pedro, how do you feel being alone? Oh, I like being alone by myself in this house. Nobody to bother me, nobody to ask me questions, nobody to tell me to clean and do that. And she's like, I don't tell you to clean. And he's like, you don't tell me to clean. I tell you to clean. I tell you to clean. Of course you don't tell me to clean because I got to tell you to clean. And it's just like, this is so unnecessary. Like, just tell her what the problem is. Like, tell her what the problem is so that you could stop being rude to her. Because as much as I don't like when he's being rude to her. I could be rude to her. I don't know her, but that's her husband. So she says that she just wants to be there to support him. Then the next scene we have is Nicole. Girl, we do not care about Nicole. I'm going to be honest with you. I really enjoyed the fact that, like, I think from a not a holistic point of view, but from like more of a back point of view, I'm like, Nicole is a Dominican girl who, when we first saw her on the screen, it was like, hi, okay, you've got some work to get done. And each season she's gotten better and better. And she understands the role of a supporting actor in a reality show. But at this point, her storyline isn't interesting. Like, her storyline revolves around her in this beauty pageant, which, girl, you are not going to be Miss Dominican Republic. You shouldn't even be, Miss. You shouldn't be anything. I don't have a joke for that. I was going to say, what's the joke? You shouldn't even be misinterpreted. You shouldn't even be misunderstood. You shouldn't be Miss Valverde. You shouldn't be Miss anything, okay? You are not a good representation of Dominican women or poise or anything. Like, honestly, when Karen and Chantel were laughing about Nicole's beauty pageant thing, I thought it was shady, but also very true. Nicole is nobody's Miss Anybody. She is like borderline trashy. Listen, I'm here for it, but like, Miss Dominican Republic girl. So anyways, so she's got these cameras following her around, and she's going to go get some work done on her face, and she's going to get her jaw. Like, she has like something here. So they're getting something, injections in her jaw, And so far, we've seen her get her boobs done. We've seen her with braces and get her teeth fixed. We've now seen her do this. And I'm pretty sure she's done like other stuff to her face that we haven't seen. It's like she got this money and she's like, listen, I'm going to live my fantasy. And I'm here to support her in all the choices. But I'm tired of it, especially because she low-key tried to talk ish on Chantel for having a weave. And I'm like, you got a weave right now. Like, don't act like because you have that perm and it's straightened that your hair is somehow more superior than Chantel, and Chantel has to wear a weave and you and Coraima have real hair. Like, bitch, y'all playing the same game, okay? So then she talks about wanting to get something right here. And we all know that Chantel is a proponent and or a supporter of cosmetic doings. She would like to be that kind of nurse, like the nurse who assists with cosmetic procedures. And then Konaima's like, no, don't get that done. You're Chantel 2.0. And I was like, pause. The fact that you can even be in here right now and do what you're doing is because of Chantel or Miss Karen or whoever brokered the deal. So do not, Koraima, talk shit about Chantel like Chantel isn't giving you what you have right now. And if it's like, oh, well, I'm so interesting, that's why the cameras are following me. It's like, no, you're not so interesting. We don't care about you. In fact, it frustrates. I do love the fact that she is speaking English, but it's so frustrating sometimes when I'm watching their segments. I'm like, dang, because I can't understand their Spanish, that I have to like look at the screen. Like, I can't do any. As soon as they come on the screen, I'm like, I have to stop and stare so I can read and know what's going on. And so I'm just like, but I love the fact that she's speaking English in some of her things. Because again, I think people who can speak 2 languages are so smart. And to be able to do that is like, so good for her on that. But at the same time, don't talk shit. So they do a little kiki and a laugh because of saying Chantel 2.0. But I'm like, Chantel looks good. And she's doing it a little bit at a time. And she looks great. So we're going to leave Chantel alone. I will make fun of Chantel. So then the next thing that we have. Oh, wait. Chantel says she wants to be focused on her. Pedro. Oh, no. I'm skipping. Okay. So then the next thing we have is Pedro is showing a big house to one of his realtor companies, like biggest clients who likes to buy a lot of property. And so this is his opportunity to show, that he's doing a good job in real estate. And he says that he loves it. And this is his opportunity to work on himself and his career, because for 5 years, he worked for 12 hours in a warehouse. And now he doesn't have to work in that warehouse anymore. And he is loving it. Okay. McDonald's. And so he says that the client is very tough, but it's a cute little scene between him and the client. And then he says that Chantel wants him to focus on her, that's what she's always wanted. And that's what he did do when they were together for those first 5 years. But he feels like now it's his turn and it's time for her to step up and do things around the house and kind of keep them on schedule and, play a bigger role in the structure of their little family. And he wants her to support. Like, he says that she's supportive and she does like little things to support, but he feels truly unsupported. Like, he doesn't feel like she is 100% into him, like striking out and doing things on his own. And it could be because she's used to having him as her best friend. And, I don't know, but Pedro seems like he's really, really unhappy. So then we go to a scene where Chantel and Miss Karen are having time in a baby boutique, and they're buying clothes for Royal's baby. And she says that she's really excited to be a aunt, and that they're, just excited about the whole thing, but they just wish that Royal and Antoinette lived a little bit closer, but that's not going to happen. So while they're doing that, Chantel tells Karen about Nicole's bid for the pageant, and Karen rightfully starts to laugh. And then she says in her confessionals, I think that she has three chances. She has slim, fat, and none. Those are the chances that I think that she has. Ha 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 ha. And I'm like, no, it can't be. Slim chance, fat chance, none chance? No. It's slim chance, fat chance, and no chance, Miss Karen. I at this point, her fumbling of her phrases is endearing. Now I'm just waiting every episode to hear the fumble. It's kind of endearing, you guys, at this point. Before, it was really annoying, and it was like, oh, you think you're so much better than everybody else, and you don't have even a strict command of the English language. But at this point, it's just kind of cool. It's just kind of cool. Okay, so then they talk about Pedro's job and how he's spending more time at his job and he's invested. And Miss Karen's like, well, you guys need to have some quality time, some quality time to give me some nietos, some grandchildren. And Chantel's like, it's none of your business. And we're like, what? And she's like, it's none of your business, the quality time between me and my husband. You none of your business. And then Miss Karen in the confessional, when she's sitting next to Chantel, she goes, yeah, no, you guys need to have quality time. So give me some grandchildren. Me and daddy have quality time. And Chantel's like, I don't want to hear about you and daddy's quality time. You want to see me and daddy's quality time? I have it right there on my phone. And we all went, ew. I mean, listen, it's not that have your quality time, y'all, but recording it, that's another level. Recording your quality time on your phone? I hope y'all don't share a plan. Y'all don't have the same iCloud. It's none of your business. So then our next scene is the pageant, the beauty pageant. And again, who cares? There were some other there were women who were some melanin women who were looking great. Also, Chantel said that. Chantel did say that she's excited that to have melanin representation in a beauty pageant, but Nicole should not be that. And I felt the same way. I mean, how dare Nicole at any point in her time on this show fix her lips to talk about Chantel's hair? I just couldn't have it. Like, I listen, I want to root for Nicole, but something is just too messy and it's not even fun. There's nothing about her that I'm like, yeah, it's just like, it's just so frou-frou. I don't know. Anyways, so Chantel then later on that day confronts Pedro about him not being appreciative of the change in her behavior. So Chantel states like for the last 2 weeks, she's been waking up, trying to keep things clean, trying to organize some stuff, and that, she made him 6 eggs in the morning and she scrambled them. And he's like, no, I don't eat scrambled eggs. Now, his response to her making scrambled eggs for him, or at least attempting to, because she'd already broken the yolks. She'd already broken the eggs and mixed them up and was about to cook them. And he's like, no, I like hard-boiled eggs. I eat hard-boiled eggs. I don't eat scrambled eggs. And she's like, no, I've seen you eat. And he's like, no, I don't. Let me just give me. She's like, well, I already broke it. He's like, no, make it hard boiled. So I thought that was annoying that they wasted 6 eggs. Also, 6 eggs is a lot. I know he's working out and needs the protein, but damn. So, like, it was just a little, I felt like he was again rude to her. And then she made the eggs for him, and there was an argument about whether or not she'd put salt in the water. She said he had, she said she had, he said she didn't, because I guess he must have watched her not do it. And so then that kind of flares up because she's like, I'm trying so hard to get you to see that I'm trying to love you and be the wife that you want me to be. Like, I'm trying to be a good wife. And she kept saying wife over and over again as though they haven't been already married for 6 years. So I think something kind of changed for her when they moved into this house. And something kind of changed for him too. There was an expectation now that's not being met. And I think maybe it's just like growing up and being more organized, because that's what he said. He's like, I don't want to have to tell Chantel to do everything. Like, I want us just to have a clean house. Like, I just want the house to be clean and organized. Like, I don't understand how hard that is. And I don't know, like, to me, they still haven't moved in quite yet. Like, the TV's still on the floor. They don't have furniture in every single room. So maybe Chantel is waiting for all of that to happen before she, like, truly starts to get things tidy. I noticed that their modem was in the kitchen on the counter. And I'm like, is there not another place for your modem? There's like a fish tank and there's some houses have those like nooks where you're supposed to like sit down and open up a laptop or have a computer there. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what these like business nooks, I guess is what they're called. And above it is like shelving so you could put stuff there. And it's just, I think of them as like mommy nooks. Like if you're a mother and your kids have a busy schedule and you want to put like important papers over there. And if you want to have like your kids' calendars and stuff like that over there, then you would do that. But anyway, so they have one of those and there was a fish tank in it. And so it's just like little things just led me to believe that they haven't truly moved in yet. But I think Pedro is just feeling like, okay, I'm at work now. It's my turn. I don't want to like, you should clean and do that. Do that. But that's a conversation that needs to be had, right? Because there are people in this world who do not understand how to run a home until they have their own home, or at least until they have their kids. And then they realize if they don't get organized, things are going to be all over the place, right? That is a known thing. And I've known those people. And I don't know, it's because of my stressful childhood as being the oldest girl. I've always had to be aware of when we're running out of toilet paper, aware of what new things need to be purchased to keep the house up. Like in my house, I don't run out of stuff. There's always fresh sponges. There's a cleaning schedule. I mean, well, there will be a cleaning schedule, but like there usually is for me. Like when I'm like super like organized, I feel the best. Also the craziest. But it's something that you have to kind of learn from your parents. And Chantel probably didn't have to do any of those things growing up. Maybe she was only responsible for keeping her room clean and washing dishes every now and then. Like maybe she never had to mop the kitchen floor every single night before she went to bed. Maybe she didn't have to keep the sink clean. Or maybe she did, and when she got older she was like, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be stressed out about dishes. Well, good for you, Chantel. There are those of us who are stressed out about dishes, okay? There are those of us who are stressed out about a dirty floor. There are those of us who just like, that is our thing. And perhaps Pedro, because from most, foreign households, you have to keep your house clean and put together. That's just how people live in certain countries. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe he's just from a thing where his mother always made him and Nicole be tidy. Because if you notice, whenever we're at Lydia's house, her house is tidy. Nicole's bed is always made up. Like their house is always tidy when we see it. So it's cultural, right? For him to clean. Also, I forgot about this picture and I'm going to show you this right now. I'm not sure what Lydia was going for. I don't know if she was going for like sexy, sweaty, or like I'm in this new age in my life, but she filmed this whole scene like this. And there was part of me that was like, okay, spicy mommy, hot tamale, but there was also a part of me that was like, mama, can you comb your hair and just like slick it back? Or like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like she's giving young here. She's giving young, she's giving fresh, she's giving humidity, she's giving pore, like supple skin, but also she's given rode hard and put away wet. She's also given like just messy Bessie. What do y'all think? It's just like a mixture, right? I thought that was funny. So I don't understand. No, also, Chantel, I don't know if I said this or not, but Chantel was acting as though like she wasn't his wife 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, maintaining a 1-bedroom apartment was probably pretty easy. And I don't know what it is that he's expecting of her in this larger house, but it's hurting her feelings. And I think that he needs to either he has said the things and she's just not getting it, or he needs to just settle into the fact that she's going to have to tell her specifically what to do to make him happy. And he has to just be okay with being able to communicate that. I know there are people in this world who don't want to have to say the things that, like I got told that a lot when I was younger, like, oh, I shouldn't have to tell you to do things. You should just know to do it. And I'm like, well, that's not how my brain works. You have to tell me what you want me to do. You have to specifically say, this is your role, this is your job, and then I'll do that thing. But like having me guess just gives me anxiety. And then I'm also living with somebody who's passive aggressive. Just tell me what you want. And then when I don't live up to it, then we can have that conversation. So Pedro feels like she needs to grow up and be organized, and he doesn't want to have to tell her what to do. And she tells the world that they haven't had sex since DR. And then he says it's been 3 months. And then I think because I don't quite understand the dynamic that happens when they're in relationships and they stop having sex. And I know it happens because a lot of my friends tell me that it happens. A lot of people tell me that people just be in relationships and they stop having sex. And I am like, well, do I want to be in a relationship? Because I would like to continue having sex. And it could be for a myriad of reasons. Usually children are the reason why. But some of the people that don't know, they don't have kids, and they just be like, yeah, no. And I'm like, so do you want sex from somebody else, or are you just not attracted to that person anymore, or it's just not good, or you don't what? So that hurt my feeling. That hurt my feeling. 3 months? These two hot ass people, 3 months? No sex? That's how mad they are at each other? Dang. And so that's where we end, with Chantel going off into the room crying. And I feel bad for her, but I think Pedro definitely just needs to open up and talk to her for sure. All right, you guys. So that is the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for those of you guys who are in the room right now. I know that I haven't paid much attention to you, but it is so hot in this room that I cannot do another 30 minutes. So let's just go right in. Ramsterdam, hello. Gold Peach, hello. Could be the stress of the bills. Could be. Days of Danny. Yeah, it's very true. I was that girl who had to just clean my room, and my mom cleaned and cooked. So over time, I had to learn how to cook and more things like fried chicken and keeping up the house. Yeah, that happens. That absolutely happens. There's Danny's comment. I'm sorry. I was just reading it and I didn't put it up there. Hi, Lucy. Barbara says that Chantel works a lot too. Okay. I mean, but so does he. Like, if he worked 12 hours before, I'm assuming he worked 12 hours, maybe 4 days a week, and that's a lot. They both work. And I think he feels like he wants her to step up more and allow him the leisure that he allowed her. So maybe now it's flipped and he's working more than she is. Or maybe it's flipped and maybe she's not doing, I don't know. But he feels like he wants something different from her. Thank you, Ramsterdam. Barbara says, Karen is freaky, but I do like her. She's endearing, especially when she's showing love for her children. It's always great. Joseph says, then Chantel, don't tell them your business then, child. Yep, she didn't, so it's good. Oh yeah, you guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Linda Anderson, Nicole looks like she had a nose job. I could never tell about these things, so I'll take your word for it. But if she did, then listen, she's on TV and she's trying to make her face look a little bit more like what she thinks it should look like. But again, don't talk shit about Chantel. Heavy on there playing the same game, LOL. She was jealous, actually. I would believe it. I would believe it 100%. All right. Thank you guys. Hi, Renee. Oh, you're late. Yeah, I'm leaving. All right. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Y'all have a fantastic week. I will see you on Sunday or Monday of next week to talk about 90 Day Fiance. All right. You guys have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.